I'm talking about Power Season 3, Episode 4. It started off with Angela getting dressed and Ghost and Tasha's on the phone talking about what they gonna do with Tyreek or whatever, and because Tyreek has to go see the therapist or whatever. So they all trying to, get that whole situation together or whatever. And they really trying to figure out what's up with him. But it's and Ghost is over there talking about he can't meet up with her with the therapist or whatever because he has a meeting with some big people for the club and he needs to be able to provide for them and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, it's not about that. You know what I'm saying? You need to be there for your kids. And he was like, how can I be there for my kids when I can't see my kids? And she was like, you can see your kids. You just can't see them at her house. So they hung up or whatever, and Angela was saying sorry about them, or what happened or whatever. And now he's saying that the kids can come over and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, did you just hear what your wife said? No, they can't. But then you had, I'm so tired of these sex scenes on Power. I promise I am. Like every episode we have to get them. I don't understand this because that's not what I watch it for. So I get irritated. I watch it for, you know what I'm saying, like the 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 rush of the drugs and stuff like that. I don't care about you banging out your girlfriend. I don't. Um. So and then the way I don't know. I just don't get excited about like sex scenes. So I just get irritated. So after they have sex or whatever, he was telling her to set up a meeting with Tasha and all this kind of stuff. And then he was Ghost was she asked him about meeting up with Tariq, and he was like, it wasn't Tariq, it was Ghost, and he told him about that or whatever. And then they start talking about she was telling him they start talking about killing Ghost, and she wants him to hire a hitman to kill Ghost. And he was like, I tried that before, you know what I'm saying? I think it was Jamaicans. I'm not sure what they were. But he was like, I tried that. I think it was a Haitian, something like that. But anyway, he was like, it didn't work right or whatever. So then he was telling her he had a meeting with the Koreans or whatever. So he leaves. She makes him a doctor's appointment because she's pregnant. And or whatever, and she wants to know like what kind of options she has, so she makes this appointment. Then we have Jukebox and her crew. They talking about another job they have to do, and as they talking about the job, they was asking about who was gonna be the fifth man or whatever. And Kanan said that he was gonna do it. So they all talking like, who is this dude? And she was like, he's family. Don't worry about it or whatever. So she asked them to leave, so they really wouldn't get into it with Kanan. So then, she told Kanan like you can't be doing nothing because you I guess he wants to be the gunman. And she was saying, no, because you can't even jerk off. Like, you can't use your hands. You can't even do nothing. So everybody leaves out. Jukebox leaves out, and her girlfriend Candy stays inside. And Candy comes on to Kanan or whatever. And she was like, you're not about to smash, but we can see what your hands do or whatever. And next thing you know, I was so surprised. I did see him going off on the writers or the creators or whatever about that scene, talking about his auntie had to see that scene or whatever. But I'm like, you did it. So what's the problem? I mean, was the camera not supposed to show that part? Was you not in the cut editing room? It's supposed to be your show. But I'm glad. I'm just saying I wasn't mad at that part. I mean, because we never seen. I mean, well, we did, but it wasn't as bad as when Tommy be doing it or with. I guess because they be doing it with bitches we don't like. I don't know, but I wasn't mad at this scene. I'm just saying. So she did what she had to do, and she went back up and told Jukebox that both of his hands work, so he can be able to do the job. Ghost and his security, they're talking about who's following him and his threat and all that kind of stuff, whatever. Tasha and Angela, well, Tasha goes home and Angela's there to tell her she got Tariq stuff expunged off his record or whatever. And Tasha had to basically tell her like, you didn't do it for me, you didn't do it for Tariq, you did it for him, and you're gonna be doing a lot more stuff for him. Dumb bitch, like basically, and walked off that and had her looking stupid. So Tommy and the Koreans they have a meeting. Everything go well. They squash everything. And Tommy see that the boy finger is cut off. Hand, like they shook hands and he squished his hand, whatever. You know the Korean dude is pissed off at Tommy. You know the son or whatever. Um, then you had Angela and no, you had Greg and the little cop dude. They meet up and they're talking about a witness, Luis, being up in San Diego, and he was gonna go to San Diego to talk to Luis or whatever. Angela and Ghost, they're talking, and they talk about Tasha, her going to see Tasha. Ghost was pissed off, like you don't go see her, and she was like, you don't tell me what I can do, and he was like, yes, I do. When it has something to do with my wife, hit her like in the gut, and he was like, you know what I mean. But as they arguing about this, her sister comes over for a dinner date or whatever. Her sister was like a total bitch, but we understand of her sister, the way her sister feel about Ghost. She know her Ghost ain't no good for her sister or whatever, and her sister gonna be stupid for Ghost. So she's not with this relationship, but she going along with it or whatever. So that Angela was telling Ghost that it was good intentions of her doing what she did with the expungement. So when the sister came in, she see that Ghost paid Angela's rent. Angela didn't know about this, and he was like, "Well, it was good intentions, like this payback a bitch." So I was like, "Oh, they should start getting into it, whatever." Um, Tasha tells Tariq that he has to that his case is expunged or whatever. And when they go talk to the therapist, he needs to talk to the therapist with caution. Like keep your mouth closed. Only tell her why you took the gun, but anything else between me and your daddy is off limits. You know how we, talk to our kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So, okay. Um, Ghost and Angela and the sister they having dinner or whatever, and they talking about old memories. Who cares? Then she brings up his kids. Then she say, "How is the kids dealing with the divorce?" And that's when she noticed that ain't no divorce popping off. It ain't gonna happen. And Angela tried to cover it up, like, oh, what was it like? Angela tried to cover it up and say, "Oh, he working on it." I said, "Bitch, please, if he was working on it, it would have been done, whatever." Kanan and his crew, they go rob a jewelry store, and then Kanan just off his rockers. I don't know if he had to prove a point or whatever, but he ended up killing the jewelry employee, owner, whoever he was that took him to the back room. He ended up killing him or whatever. When Jukebox got the call from the cops or whatever about the robbery, she told them she saw the truck and it was a black truck with four white dudes up in the truck. So she was saying it wasn't some black dudes. So put them off their trip. Angela found she went to go tell Mike that she found some witness that was getting paid hush money that she was gonna go find. And Mike was like, "Okay, well, tell me when you find her, cause you know he got to tell Lobos everything." Ghost and Dre, they at the club meeting with Karen. And Karen is telling Ghost, like, we don't know nothing about you. And people that want to do business with you wants to know about you. So you need to create a brand. And he was like, my brand is the mystery of who I am. And she was like, no, you need to have a social media. You need to, let people know who you are. People want to interact with you when they come to the club. And Dre had like chimed in about demand or something like that. So um, demand and supply. And so, they was just having this meeting or whatever, and telling him he needs to be the face of the club. So then you had Greg go see Luis and have him to come back and testify against Lobos. He told them that Lobos people was coming after him and his daughter and stuff like that, so he needs to come back and testify, talk them into it, whatever. Tasha, Tommy, and Holly, they at Tasha house, and they were talking about how they don't know how to cook, and she was like, "I got other skills." I said, "This that's not gonna go far." Um, So then you had Tommy go and talk to Tariq, and then you had Tasha talking to Holly. Tasha noticed that Holly had poured out her drink, so she noticed that she was pregnant. So they went to the room to talk or whatever, and she was like, "What are you gonna do with a baby? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna be a baby mama to a drug dealer? You trying to get in this game? What are you gonna do?" She was like, "I don't know what I'm gonna do." She was like, "Well, you gonna tell Tommy?" And she was like, "I don't know." And homegirl was like, "Bitch, you better tell him something before you figure out what you gonna do, because if you do something and he find out, it's gonna be bad for you, and I wouldn't want to be with you." I said I wouldn't want to be you either. Um, so Ghost becomes the face of the club. He has an open bar. He's shouting out everybody come in and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. Holly and Tommy, she still want Ghost to get killed. She bugging him about Ghost getting killed. And he like, "You don't believe in me? Like, you know what I'm saying? We supposed to believe in each other. You don't trust me?" And the way she looked and he looked, he got pissed off and he walked out as she was trying to tell him that she was pregnant. Karen, I mean Kanan and Jukebox, they he no, he go in there with Candy in the kitchen and he give Candy this bracelet talking about she can make her own money and she don't have to depend on Jukebox and all this kind of stuff. And they end up fucking up in the kitchen. And he was like, "You don't say nothing, I won't say nothing." She was like, "I ain't gonna say nothing, whatever." Greg get um oh, Greg get welcome back onto the team, and Mike, say how he got this. He found Luis, and he's bringing him back. And Angela's shocking as shit. She don't know what to do. Tasha and Keisha, they gossiping about somebody else's business. Then they start talking about, Tasha remodeling the house because everything has been ghost. Everything around the house is ghost. The way she dressed, the way she wear her hair, everything is ghost, and she don't know who she is anymore. So Keisha gave her some words of encouragement of who she is, bad bitch. The next thing you know, Keisha sees Tasha gun up in her purse and was like, "Did you have this gun in my shop?" She was like, "Yes, for protection, And she was like, "You sure that's all it is?" And she was like, "Girl, I wouldn't do, ain't nothing going on." I'm like, "You's a dirty bitch." I am so mad at the way. This is why I didn't like Tasha from the beginning. And now I'm really not liking you for the way you doing your supposed to be best friend. That shit ain't cool to me. Um, Dre go to his old spot talking to his homeboy or whatever. And they're talking about him moving up in the ranks and all this kind of stuff. And homeboy still want to do a lick, but Dre ain't with that. So the homeboy tell him about the Koreans have got a hit on Tommy. The son got a hit on Tommy because of what Tommy, did with his dad. So I was like, oh shit. So now Ghost is at the club and the security come tell him something about Karen. I don't remember. Y'all can tell me in the comments because I don't remember what he was saying about Karen. But next thing you know, Ghost go call Dre about whatever he told Karen or whatever. But Dre is trying to tell him what's going on with Tommy. So he tells him like, what the deal is with him and how it's gonna go down at a church with this crooked priest or whatever. So Ghost know exactly who it is. He tried to call Tommy, but the phone go to voicemail. Tommy at the church, he go there for payment or something with this priest. Next thing you know, Tommy confessing his sins about him having to do some shit that he don't want to do. The priest is talking to him. He goes out to church or whatever, and my hair ain't but he goes out to church or whatever, and he gets sprayed drive by with from the Koreans. And as they spraying him, they end up hitting him in the arm. But as they spraying him or whatever, Ghost walk up like a thief in the night and shoot two guys, and then they drove off. And as he walking back off, his security, been following him or whatever, and they see him do what he do. So I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers better not be no cops. They better not be no, I don't know, I just be skeptical about people. So I was like, man, they better not be, doing dirty to him, you know what I'm saying? But it looked like he's so far been on the up and up. So, yeah, so now Tommy didn't know who had saved him. He just know he saved. Kanan and Jukebox at the strip club. They're talking about him fucking Candy. And she was like, yeah, I know, Candy told me. And he was like, shit, I just want to fuck. Like, shit, I don't know what to tell you. I just want to fuck. I'm going to do it again. She was like, no, it ain't. You didn't take your ass home. You did what you had to do. You got paid for it. You got some money. You need to go home. So now he was like, he going to go kill Ghost. And she was like, that's not what you need to do. That's not what your revenge needs to be. Your revenge, you need to change your plans and do something else. So then Tommy comes home to Holly or whatever. He's shot. So he like, he telling her he couldn't see who did it, but he think it was Slowbo's. So now she's scared as shit and pissed off. So she leaves. She was like, everything gonna be alright, and she leaves. I said, oh, this bitch is gonna do something stupid. So Ghost is at the club. Karen come by and they taking pictures together. I don't know, who cares. Angela and the co-worker, oh, I think it was Sax. Yeah, they talking about Greg coming back or whatever, and Louise knows everybody and how they gonna get Louise to tell on everybody. So now she's scared of shit. Angela go home and she drinking. Ghost come home and she, they're talking about, she's telling him, I don't think we're gonna make it, all this kind of stuff, you're not divorced, and he's trying to ease her pain, and both of them had some shit going on, and they didn't want, nobody know what happened as they there at work. So then at the end of it, you see Holly dumbass go to the people, the Haitians, Jamaicans, I don't know who they were. But you see her go to them and put a hit out on Ghost. I said, bitch, this not going to end well for you. This really not going to end well for you. So that's my review for Power Season 3, Episode 4. I'm about to turn this off and review Power Episode 5. All right, you guys, follow me on all social media by The Ghetto View, THA, not THE, and I will talk to you.